Greg.wmv, better known as Louisville Street Prince. I'm 55 years old. I started coming into the streets of Louisville, Kentucky as a civil rights activist. We had a lot of crime in this area. Since then, the crime has been minimum, but it's still here. With Paul giving the food, bringing the food at night, it's great because I used to panhandle on these streets. And the police used to come out here and tell me, get off the street corner. And now that I have food coming in, I don't have to come out here and ask the tourists for change for food and have the police threaten to lock me up. And with the food, the clothing, it's warmer. I stay out at night. Sometimes it's 28 degrees, 16 degrees. And as tonight, it's 10 degrees, 5 degrees. And if I lay down and go to sleep, I could freeze. But with the donations that you help give us, that makes things a lot better. And this is why, I like to see people come into the streets, donate and help the homeless people. And there's a lot of homeless people here in Louisville, Kentucky, because they're coming from all over the country here to Louisville, Kentucky, because I've run into people from New York City, Milwaukee, Minnesota, Minneapolis, Chicago, and they say it's freezing up there, and they don't have anything near what we have down here in Louisville, Kentucky. So if we have people to donate to the poor, this makes life a lot more bearable, because life is hard on us when you got to come out here late at night and ask a total stranger, hey, sir, do you have any change so I can get something to eat? And these, people say, well, you help to get a job. And you say, well, I'm pushing a 400-pound cart around. Have you ever pushed a 400-pound cart to the airport looking for a job? And then when you sit on the street corner, you say, well, if I could just get somebody to help me out, things would be a lot better. I've been on the streets 38 years of my life. I'm 55. I've been living out here in the streets, sleeping in the streets for 38 years. Well, what brought me to the streets of Louisville, Kentucky? I had hard times. I had a drug addiction. I had a dysfunctional family life. I come from a drug-related environment, and growing up as a child around drugs, prostitution, murder, robberies, burglaries, in Louisville's East End, which was called Clarksdale Projects. It's boggling on the mind because you're trying to do the right things, but when hard times come, you go back into the past and do what you know best, and that's the hustle. So I ended up in the street a hustler. And out here in the streets, I make money to survive. Is music. I'm a drummer. And one of my friends from my past, he see me in the streets, and he asked me, he said, well, what is it that you really need? I said, well, if I could get a drum machine, I can stop panhandling and use my talent. So as a drummer, I've been around the country, and I've ran into various professional musicians, and there have been very many. Many as B.B. King, Bobby Blue Bland, Carl Carlton, Rick James, Michael Jackson, the Commodores, Bob Seger, Leonard Skinner. I could go on and tell you of the people who I've met during my music career. But the main purpose is, look at me today. See what I'm saying? I can't dwell on the past or what I used to do. I got to see myself today. I'm living in this part. My life is in this part. And the main thing, I'm trying to get out of this part and get a job. Well, of the church coming into the community, helping homeless people is magnificent, because it shows that somebody cares for you. It gives you hope out here. You have so many people looking at you, and people start to say, well, you're worthless, so-and-so, get off the street. And you say, well, this is what I have to do for right now. So, with people coming out here, encouraging you to, move forward, and, sermons, you hear scriptures and things like this. It's just put a warmth in your heart to continue to move it forward, because I know a few people, it's been cold out here, and they just giving up, and they almost froze out. I'd like to thank the Crossing for having the warmth to come into my life with the food donations. I'd like to thank the Crossing for caring for poor people who don't have a chance to work because of stagflation, recessions, this new president we have, all of the chaos going on. You know, it bogs down on the community, and when the community becomes frustrated, that's when people close the doors on you. That's when people, they don't want to give. And when you have people from the Crossing come into the streets to help you, it's a joy, it's a happiness, it's a spark of sunshine on a cold night. As you can see, we're out here, the snow falling, and it's cold. So when you have the Crossing come into your life, it's the sunshine.